This is Lil Del, the 19-year-old rapper who shot a missile at his enemy. And let me tell you how this started. Lil Del was a rapper who grew up in Pensacola, Florida, one of the most dangerous cities in America. I'm talking so bad that 27% of the kids live below the poverty line. So for Lil Del, it was a matter of life and death. Growing up in one of the most dangerous cities in America, Lil Del knew that he had to hustle and grind his way out of Pensacola, Florida. So he hopped in the studio and started rapping. But the problem was that Lil Del still had one foot in the streets while trying to rap. Lil Del was part of the Bro Gang, and they mainly beefed with the Cash Gang. And the beef between these two gangs was linked to several shootings, and they've been tearing up the city of Pensacola for years.
To the people of Pensacola, stop the violence. Stop the hate.
Lil Del was caught up in this violent world, and he couldn't escape it. He was a talented rapper, but his music was tinged with the violence and danger that surrounded him. He was a product of his environment. The beef first started back in 2017 after an incident at the Pensacola Interstate Fair. And ever since then, these two gangs have been on each other's neck. And even though they were small local gangs, they were still very deadly. And the Bro Gang was already on the police's radar way before any murder had gone down. But in May 2019 is when things took a turn for the worse for Lil Del and his gang. Because one day, he and his gang got tipped off that a rival was going to be at a club called the Platinum Nightclub. So once Del and the gang heard the news, they suited up to go on a mission. They geared up and went on the mission, armed with 7 guns. The nightclub was packed, and people were enjoying themselves, dancing, and vibing out, unaware of the violence that was about to erupt. The Bro Gang pulled up and instantly opened fire, letting off 44 shots. Before fleeing the scene, the police made it to the nightclub within 4 minutes. And after letting off 44 shots, their target made it out without getting injured. But unfortunately, a stray bullet hit 20-year-old Elizabeth Harris, who was rushed to the hospital and later passed away. The next day, police found shells all over the place that came from 9mm, 40 cals, and 380s. So police launched a big investigation and quickly discovered that the shooting was all because of the deadly beef between the Cash Gang and the Bro Gang. So they were, after all, the members they thought had something to do with the club shootings. It took them a few months, but police later arrested 3 suspects: 18-year-old Taquan Warren, 17-year-old Markiasia James, and 19-year-old Dante Walker. But they were still on the lookout for one more suspect, Lil Del. And just like TK, Lil Del did the race and was on the run from the police. So Del left Florida and went 5 hours away to Austell, Georgia. In the meantime, Bro Gang members, James and Warren, were both charged with first-degree felony murder, attempted murder, and aggravated assault. On top of Lil Del, police still thought more suspects were involved, so the investigation stayed open. And once they arrested the other suspect, things went left because someone started snitching. One suspect allegedly told police that Lil Del ain't just fire a regular weapon, and that he brought a rocket launcher with him since he was trying to take Cash Gang off the map. They said he got the rocket launcher from one of his partners, and when they went on the drill, Lil Del fired the rocket launcher at the club, but ended up hitting the victim's car and the car close to it. And Lil Del was still hiding out, even though his co-defendants were snitching on him. But being a teenage rapper and not having too many ways to maintain, all while trying to stay off the radar, made it pretty hard for Lil Del to stay on the run. And he was able to hide out for 2 months. But it was tough, and police eventually tracked him down and found out he was staying at some apartments in Cobb County, Georgia. He was then taken into Cobb County Jail, but they later sent him back to Pensacola for his trial. He was charged with firing a deadly missile, first-degree murder, aggravated assault, and criminal mischief. And his bond was set to $233,000. The weight of the charges was heavy, but Lil Del seemed unfazed because Lil Del popped the bond without a problem. And a day after getting bond released, he was on Instagram Live in the studio working on new music. And it ain't looking too good due to all the charges he's facing. And many people feel like they're going to try and make an example out of him, just like they did with TK. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video.